So as we all know, Skull and Bones took Ubisoft 10 years and $1 billion budget to create, but it seems like they might be beat to the punch by this small studio from Uzbekistan. So the name of the game in question is called Crosswinds, and it's made by a small studio from Tashkent, Uzbekistan. I'm sorry if I butchered that for sure, but this came out of nowhere. Now, they have been releasing trailers over the past year or so, and recently they released an alpha gameplay trailer. And from what I've seen so far, it seems like they might be doing everything that everyone expected from Skull and Bones. So that is what we're going to talk about today. And if you happen to be new here, it's your boy Grandpa Casual. We do gaming news, gaming reviews, and overall discussions about gaming. So if and only if that is your vibe, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe because we make videos like this all the time. Now, Crosswind is listed on Steam today, but it has a release date of coming soon. But it's described as follows. Crosswind is a survival adventure in the age of piracy. Explore procedural open world, gather, build and craft, overcome challenging bosses, and Souls-like combat. Sail your ship, fight on land and sea, play solo or with friends, live your swashbuckling life in PvE, or rise to power in optional PvP. This sounds like Sea of Thieves, but in a more photorealistic form, and I am here for it. And I find this all very intriguing and exciting at the same time because it looks like the developers saw Skull and Bones and said, oh, we could do that, and we could do that 10 times better. And it seems like they're living up to that right now. Now, I'm going to temper my expectations here because they haven't really shown any gameplay outside of this trailer that shows some alpha gameplay. So I don't know how this game will perform, and I don't know if it will actually live up to the hype that it's building. But if it does, it seems like it's going to be a banger of a pirate game. Because like I said, it seems like it will have everything that we will want out of a pirate game. I've seen things like character customization, on-foot combat with both melee and firearm weapons. We had base building here. We had quests. It seems like we even had some boss fights. And the fact that they're throwing Souls-like combat into the mix really has me excited. I myself am a fan of the Souls-like games. I guess I must be a glutton for punishment, but the fact that the combat will be based on that is something that really has me interested in the game. Now, as far as the studio behind the game, Crosswind Crew, it has me a little bit wary because as I searched online, there's not much information about this company out there. I was able to find a small little tidbit of information on this website called Gematsu. Crosswind Crew is a video game developer headquartered in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. And that is literally it. And they don't even have, from what I've seen, an official website or anything like that up. So it's kind of hard to tell what's going on here, but that's what has me wary and proceeding with caution with this. Obviously, we've seen something similar to this with the day before, albeit though they've made games before, they actually let their games crash and burn and kind of like abandon them within the development process. So here is a little bit different because we have nothing. Like this would be their first game ever. So erring on the side of caution with this, but from what I've seen, they have an alpha gameplay trailer, right? It's there. So it kind of gives me a little hope, I guess, that this is a real thing and this is something that's actually being made. But we've seen this before, so I'm really erring on the side of caution. But as far as the game itself, there is some information about the game itself, the lore, and things like that on their Steam page. And here's what they got. It seems like the game's lore is actually stemming from historical data. Now, they talk about the timeline here, and it says the historic core from the 16th to the 18th centuries. Now, they said that's our guiding principles. Start with the fact, then let the fiction breathe. To do so, we chart two timelines, one grounded in historical fact, the other shaped by fiction to serve gameplay and narrative. They go on to say, anyhow, we're not here to publish a textbook. Crosswind at its core is a survival adventure, and the story is there to support the gameplay and not overshadow it. That said, we do see room to push things a little further than what's typical for the genre. Many survival games keep the narrative in the background, and while Crosswind isn't a story-heavy game, we've taken care to add more texture and more presence to the world. So it seems like it's going to be an open world sandbox type game that is tied into historical lore, but also leaves room for the player to have fun with their friend and really get into the gameplay here. Now, they did say the game is going to be procedurally generated, and I'm really curious how they're going to make the gameplay work with that because it's procedurally generated. They have like a story in the background, and I know we have games like Sea of Thieves, which kind of works like that. There's like kind of like an overarching narrative, but the narrative really doesn't hold you to anything. I'm guessing they're going to do something similar here, but I'm really interested on how they're going to make the procedural world work, but also keep it interesting. because we don't want to see like the same islands or the same dungeons on each island fighting the same enemies over and over. So I'm really interested on how they're going to make that happen and how they're going to make that work. So from what I've seen, it seems really interesting, and I'm still erring on the side of caution, seeing as this studio really doesn't have any history or any information for that matter. But if they can do it, this will be a very ambitious project. I don't really know because it's a unknown studio, like I said, and ambition with unknown studios. Sometimes you might creep a little bit further than you need to and bite off more than you can chew. But if they can pull this off, I feel like this will be an amazing game. But as far as we know right now, they're kind of just telling us what we want to hear. They did show some alpha gameplay, and they do actually have an alpha gameplay test open, which you can sign up for. I might do that myself and see what it looks like, see if I get in, and I'll report it to you guys and let you know what's going on if you want to know more about that. But yeah, man, this looks exciting. It looks great. But I want to know what you think. Have you been watching Crosswinds? Does it sound like something interesting to you? Do you think that it's gonna be a flop? Do you think that it's not real, too good to be true? Whatever it is, I'm always down to have conversations with you all. And if you're into having grounded, casual conversations around gaming, consider subscribing. Outside of that, thanks so much for chilling with me today, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.